Peace, y'all, and welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in to gatHER and Heal, the podcast. So, my name is Vanessa Suhey. I am the fantastic founder and creative CEO of gatHER and Heal. And I feel like our first episode should be a little bit of story time. So, let's just go ahead and back up a minute and talk about how gatHER and Heal in and of itself came to be. Back at the beginning of 2021, I was in private practice, and I still am. My first company is Sustaining Hope and Wellness, and we are a group practice supporting women, specifically Black and brown melanated persons, okay? And so I realized that I had this sinking feeling that just did not feel good because there were so many women of color calling because they wanted supports by a therapist that looks like them, a therapist that they don't gotta explain a whole bunch of shit to. And I'm like, I get it. I see y'all. I really, really do. But I am but one person, okay? And so the fact that I had to continuously turn away so many women who really and truly wanted support and were ready to enter a space of leading life in a way that is so genuine to them, it just was so heavy for me. And, you know, I'll back up a second and just remind y'all that I am a licensed clinical social worker, and that is my calling. That is how I deliver and support and hold space for people. And so having to turn people away during what is truly a difficult time. So fast forward a couple of months, I go ahead and I join a pitch competition. And gatHER and Heal, the name had already been like swirling around in my mind, so much so that I already started the trademarking process for it. People are like, oh, what's it gonna be? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know, but I just got this inner guidance, and I've got this inner feeling that says, run with it, girl. Just run with it. Trust it, okay? I mean, just saying it and rethinking that what some might call a leap of faith, what I'm more so calling trusting and believing in myself, I still get goosebumps. Still get goosebumps thinking about it. But anyways, let me circle back. Shout out to Roxbury Innovation, because they definitely came through with lots of support and mentoring and really just creating and holding the space while having to pivot during the pandemic, okay? And from there, what I ended up doing was talking about gatHER and Heal. But gatHER and Heal at that point was really going to be a group, right? So it was supposed to be a group for Black and brown women to come together and like really heal in community, which would, for me, be able to support women that were reaching out looking for it, but also support more women at once, right? So clinically speaking, I like to keep my groups to about anywhere between like 8 and 12 persons if I'm running it by myself. And so that's what I was going to do. I was like, oh, if I win this pitch competition, there'll be a little bit of an influx of some money and I can run a couple of groups for a little bit. Well, don't y'all know, I had a judge who asked the question and was like, this is what I heard. This was not his language, but he basically was like, okay, Vanessa, so you're talking about being one person, and what are you going to do when these groups are at capacity? How are you going to scale up? Y'all. I was like, did he really have to ask me that question in the middle of a pitch competition though? But I heard it, I took it, and once that part of like quick panic just stepped aside for a hot second, I already knew. I was like, it's gonna be a membership community. That's how we're going to scale up. And that's what the fuck I did. But let's go ahead and fast forward a little bit. So we fast forward into June, July of 2021. I link up with my cousin and I'm like, yo, this is what I'm thinking. This is what's happening, so on and so forth. And she's like, yo, that's dope. Let me know how I can help you. Boom. I say, actually, I would prefer to hire you, right? Because I respect my friends and family. I want you to get paid for your creativity. And I already knew there were no limits to her dopeness. So I'm like, come through. Let me hire you part-time. Ba, 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 ba. Boom. Up we go, right? She jumps right on in as our events and communications manager. Don't you worry. You know, she's going to be on more than one episode, more than 2, 3 of these podcasts. So you will get to know her, Jennifer. And she is our events and communications manager. And her favorite job description is, I do all the other things that Vanessa doesn't. And I'm like, yeah, that's accurate. I can't even deny it. Like, that's just what it is. And that's fine, right? Like, that's the dopeness of the balance between our relationship, both personal and professional. So, boom, we go up and running. And here we are, almost coming up on our year of having built community, collaborated with other dope people, Black and brown business owners aspiring to their next level in their careers, whether they're in school or studying a certificate or whatever it might be. And we've got some amazing interns that have come through and continue to, you know, challenge our thought process and incorporate some of their amazing ideas into what is a co-created space. Like, this is a co-created membership community. I swear to you, up, down, left, right, sideways, around in a circle. And I'm going to tell you that I am not the expert. I don't care how much training I've had in something. I don't care how many times I've practiced it, so on and so forth. That's not me. That's not how I identify. The way I do identify is as a supportive person. Better yet, my spiritual mentor told me the other day, she was like, you are a conduit. And I said, ooh, I like that. I am a conduit. What you need and what is coming and being called for you and what you are being called to, I truly believe is held in our shared, in our co-created space. And that is why I'm not the expert. Because all of the bits and pieces that you bring, that the people who are going to come be guests on the podcast bring, people who have been guests on our panels, our members, participants, all the homies that came through and they're testing out our beta program, like all of it. We are putting this together, okay? Because as our motto goes, we heal in community, we heal together. And that's not something I take lightly. I think it's absolutely beautiful, and it is so powerful, and it is what scares the fuck out of most people. Because imagine that. Imagine all of us amazing individuals, Black and brown people, coming together and uplifting one another and amplifying not just their own internal self, voices, passion, knowledge, but also those of the other people around them. I mean, they should be scared, because that is nothing short of amazing. We know that when we all come together, it's not going to be anything short of amazing. I also know that the content and everything that has been coming together thus far in Gather and Heal, in our community, is so dope. What I'm also realizing, though, is that who knows that we out here? Like, who knows, we out here. And so without having this background and this understanding of gather and heal, it makes it, I feel like, a little bit more challenging than to listen to the podcast. Like, but for why? Now, don't get me wrong. If you are not a black, brown, melanated person and you don't feel like you could necessarily sign up for the community membership, that's okay, because these are still under the same company umbrella. But for me, it's honestly another method of us being able to increase mental and emotional wellness and awareness, because there's a lot of different ways that people take in information and different ways that it lands with them and resonates and so on and so forth. And so I'm definitely the kind of person that's like, let's give options, right? And so let's talk about a couple of those options that we provide. We've got blogs. We are on Instagram. Coming up soon, we're about to be on TikTok. We've held panel events, and we've played around with different times and days as well. We have also held groups. We've held our beta testing program, which is also really important to consider because, again, like I said, it's co-creating. So anyone who's in the beta program, yeah, they're testing it all out. They're seeing, oh, am I learning? Am I growing? Am I connecting more deeply with community? And they're providing us with feedback, right? So I will absolutely be sitting with the team and thinking about, okay, what is the feedback that we've gotten and what needs to be adapted so that we can loop it all back and make this information and make these resources as accessible as possible. Now, don't get me wrong, all of these methods are not to replace therapy, okay? Yes, our content is created predominantly by myself as well as my clinical interns, but the delivery is not a therapeutic relationship. If that's what you need, you let us know. We try our best to connect you or at least point you in the right direction. But that doesn't mean you are not getting some high level dopeness of what could be experienced in a therapeutic setting. Okay? So, for example, I could have clients who listen to the podcast and they'll be like, damn, Vanessa just said that to me, like a month ago or something like that. Because that is going to happen, right? It is going to overlap. There are a lot of themes that I see amongst the people that I hold space for, and even in my own personal life. And so I wouldn't be doing the best job that I can if I left it out. And that's not helpful to anyone. So I will bring things in. We will have certain conversations. One of our panels was around family and, what was it? It was like family and holidays. Well, because it impacts our mental health. So, of course, you're going to get inserts around, okay, so what do I do? How do I prepare for it? How do I take care of myself? So on and so forth. And you also have to understand that the message and the information being delivered right now is pretty, broad. But if you take some of these snippets and you go back into your own therapeutic setting, I would hope that between you and your therapist, y'all could narrow it down some more. You can make it specific to you. And that's the beauty of it, right? Like, how do I take different experiences from other arenas in my life and bring it and reflect on it to see, how does that land with me? How does that land with Vanessa Suhey? I have constantly been doing that throughout my life because a lot of information that has been given to me or I've been taught, so on and so forth, just naturally and very organically, I knew, okay, I appreciate this part of it, but this part over here, it don't land well, so I'm going to tweak it. And I've been comfortable and I've been confident in doing that for years. I also think it's because I have been doing it for so long. And that really surrounds the fact that there's so much out there that is not the whole truth, history textbooks. And there are a lot of systems, the majority that are here in the United States, if not all of them. I'm going to go with all of them, but all right, we're not going to stir a pot too much in the first episode. Those systems weren't created for us. So there's a whole other level there, whole other layer that we have to dig into and say, okay, what am I being fed, spoon fed this information? What's true? Let me dig in, do some more research over here. Let me see, how does it feel if I implement it, or if I say it out loud? What do I have to tweak, so on and so forth. And because I've been doing that my whole life, I'm pretty fucking good at doing it. I've been doing it so long, I've been doing it and not even realizing what I was doing until I took a few steps back and I really said, how did I get to this point? It truly doesn't matter. This is where we're at. And this is also really a huge part of what makes Gather and Heal in our community, our resources, our information, our accessibility, so different from other ones, other programs, other coaching experiences, other membership communities, right? Like, there are so many out in these streets. I'm just like, no, well, damn. Why would somebody sign up for ours? I'm going to tell you why. Everything we put out there is curated specifically for Black and brown women of the diaspora. Everything we put out there is professionally vetted, whether it be by a clinician, because it has to do with something clinical, or our mental health or emotional wellness. Or if it's about money, boom, we pull in a money person. If it's about relationships, bet, whoop, we gonna pull in somebody who is maybe a marriage and family therapist, or somebody who does work specifically with people who are in relationships. I catch myself and I pause because I almost said couples, but we ain't gonna do that here. I know, and I want y'all to know, that not everybody in relationship, it's not always just two, and that's okay. So we welcome y'all too. Now, what happens after that? The information you're provided, the ways that we filter through it and make sure we're delivering amazing, accessible information, well, it's also done by us, right? So there's a piece that is so empowering and so dope to say that the information you're getting, these experiences that you're having, these dialogues, is by someone who looks like you. And it's done and created by you as well, right? Because that's where we get to circle back in and talk a little bit more about how this program is co-created. All the way from like the membership level names, the content that we put out, the format that we put it out. I didn't come up with all of that. And I can acknowledge it. And I'm grateful that I didn't. Because it is so amazing, and it is way more juicy when we've got some variety outside of just what bounces around in Vanessa Suhei's head. So I've listed out a number of ways that you can listen, you can see, you can read, you can engage. Now let's talk a little bit more specifically about us, okay? So our first level of membership engagement is called Queen Connections. Queen Connections is completely free. And yes, there's still more exclusive content in that membership level than you will get on like our Instagram, or that you'll get in this podcast. So that's one method. There's opportunity to connect in a group setting with myself. There's opportunity to have specific journal prompts to help guide you, reflection opportunities, meditations, where we talk about our mental health all the way through spirituality. And it's another way that if you needed some resources that we can connect, right? Connecting with different panelists, connecting with different discussions. So then we have our paid membership level, which is Healing Connections. And in Healing Connections, it's a monthly membership fee. And that's where we really get to dive in even more intimately, even more in depth. Really a structured method of incorporating all of my years of experience being Earthside, being in the body that I am in, being a clinical social worker and a mother and a life partner and a daughter and so on and so forth. all of it comes in together. And I realize that those are my experiences. And there's still lots of ways that I can learn from you, and that we can learn from, this homie over here who's in the, top right of our screen, because things are virtual right now. And so we circle it right on back to, we heal in community, we heal together. Okay? And there is no topic that gets left uncovered, unturned, because everything that we do affects our mental health, and everything about our mental health impacts what we do. And we can't just let that slide by. There have been many years and many generations that it has been left to the wayside, and so many things haven't been addressed. And this is how we, whoever you are listening or watching this right now, this is how we are transforming the generations that come after us. And I don't say that in a way to mean you have to birth a little human or you have to raise a little human yourself. No, it's all the ways that you also interact with other children around you. Okay? And that's important, because as much as we like to say, oh yeah, the kids they're not listening. No, they're listening and they're watching. So however we show up in this world, we're modeling for them. So the more that I could step out into this world day in and day out as my genuine self with my higher energy and feeling full alignment here with my chakras all the way up and all the way down to Mother Earth's beautiful core, I'm going to show up confident. I'm going to be clear in what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. I'm going to be so calm, because that confidence is just like, girl, there's nothing to worry about. I'm going to be creative in the things that I do, and I am going to step out realizing that my perspective is not the only perspective. And with that, I will be patient as I learn and as I grow. So, all that to say, that is how gatHER and Heal started. That and all of those things that I mentioned are all of the components that make gatHER and Heal so beautiful and so dope. Okay? Because of you, right? Like, it's not just me. Yes, I'm the face right now. Hopefully I won't be the only face, but it's how we come together. It's how we are co-creating all of this. And I look forward to all of the ways that gatHER and Heal will continue to evolve and grow. I continue to call in all of the people who need this space. I continue to call in all the people who are professionals and can deliver information that isn't as readily accessible to us all the time, because I'm here to uplift all of us. I'm here to make sure that our passions and our desires and how we want to be and how we want to show up in this world, that we get to do it. Because y'all, we deserve nothing less. We are not going to come up short. We are not going to continue, if we ever did, shrink ourselves for the comfort of others. Okay? We're not going to settle. We ain't going to compromise. What it is that you want and what it is that you desire, you absolutely deserve. Okay? So, I hope that this background on why gatHER and Heal came to be and how it came to be helps you understand a little bit more about not just myself, Vanessa Suhey, but also gatHER and Heal in its entirety and where it's at in its snapshot of its life right now. And I say that because, as I mentioned already, I want it to evolve, and it's going to evolve, and it's going to become even greater. It's beyond what I can even imagine, okay? And that's why that co-creation is so important. Now, without further ado, I'm done chopping it up here with you, whether you're just listening on your audio or if you are watching and you can see me shaking and waving my hands all over the place, because that's what I do. I appreciate you for coming through. Now, if you enjoyed this first episode, Go ahead and share it. Share it with the homies. Don't be greedy with the information and the knowledge, okay? And give us a 5-star rating. Let us know what you enjoyed about it. And if you want to hear something different, y'all already know our email is in the bio. It's everywhere, okay? It's in our bio. It's in the show notes, all that good stuff. hey@gatherandheal.us. Our website is gatherandheal.us. And I look forward to chopping it up with some more people, sharing all of the things that flow through my head, because there'll be a whole lot happening up here. So I'm so amped. I am so excited for the launch of this and to just continue to connect a community with y'all. So I hope y'all have nothing short of an absolutely beautiful, beautiful fucking day. Peace, y'all.